Using the Body in Music, the Maré Music Continuum, a pedagogy for the 21st century. Before music is something one deliberately does, it is something the body already coordinates. Long before a child understands the concepts of beat, bar, or tempo, they know the sensations of weight, balance, anticipation, and release. They know how it feels to jump, to pause, to sway, or to freeze. Rhythm resides first in the body's own timing, long before it appears on a page or is explained in words. This is why the Maré Music Continuum treats bodily engagement as primary learning rather than as a preparatory warm-up. Clapping, stamping, tapping, swaying, and stretching are not diversions or childish activities. They are the most direct route to rhythmic understanding because they bypass abstraction. When a foot meets the floor, the body registers gravity. When hands meet, the precise moment of contact defines pulse. When movement ceases, silence acquires clear shape and duration. The body does not require verbal explanation to grasp timing. It is itself a timing system. What are often called warm-ups are, in reality, already music. A slow stretch teaches tempo through resistance. A repeated arm swing establishes regularity without the need for counting. Even the simple cycle of breath, inhale, suspension, exhale, creates phrasing before a single instrumental note is produced. For this reason, early work with pulse and rhythm should not begin at the instrument. An instrument immediately introduces additional layers of demand: coordination, pitch, posture, tone production. If rhythm is introduced only after all of these are present, it tends to become anxious and brittle. When rhythm has first been lived through the body, the instrument simply inherits a secure foundation. Stillness is as important as motion. Holding the body motionless teaches duration and makes time tangible. Young learners quickly recognize that sustained stillness is active rather than empty. The held pose becomes charged with expectation. This is the bodily seed of the fermata, of musical suspense, and of purposeful arrival. Foot stamping, sometimes dismissed as crude, is in fact one of the most honest rhythmic tools available. It connects pulse to weight, to effort, and to the solid resistance of the floor. The danger lies not in stamping itself, but in stamping that dominates rather than responds. When the stamp answers sound instead of overriding it, rhythm becomes relational. These principles have deep roots. Émile Jacques Dalcroze built an entire pedagogy on the conviction that musical understanding must pass through movement, not as choreographed display, but as lived time. His insight remains radical precisely because it refuses to separate thinking from doing. By contrast, many contemporary grid-based teaching models and AI-generated approaches remove the body entirely. Rhythm is presented visually as blocks on a screen or ticks on a line. Time is seen rather than felt. The learner may learn where beats are supposed to fall, yet never experience how they actually arrive. Within the continuum, learners frequently develop secure rhythmic sense without formal drilling. They have walked it, held it, and released it. At the beginning of a lesson, or when encountering a new work, it is often valuable to listen first and then move. This may take the form of a casual conversation, a simple invitation, or a more structured class activity in which instruments are set aside so that the group can respond physically to the music. Clapping is an obvious entry point, yet dance may be appropriate for some groups, while quieter gestures, finger clicks, head nods, or subtle swaying serve introverted or sensory-sensitive students equally well. When the body leads, beat ceases to be something that must be consciously noted. It is already underway, already settled and known. Only later does counting arrive, and when it does, it names something familiar rather than imposing something foreign. Using the body in music is not primarily about energy or enjoyment, though both may appear. It is about honesty. The body cannot fake timing. It reveals hesitation, imbalance, anticipation, and confidence at once, making it the most reliable teacher available. In the continuum, therefore, rhythm does not begin with explanation, it begins with motion. Once time has been lived in this way, it rarely needs to be enforced again. The process itself embeds the deeper philosophy that musical understanding is first embodied and only afterwards named. Read more at iServalan.com. 2016 Sarnia della Maré.